Greetings to anyone watching the video. My name is Wang Yuanxian. Today I'm going to present about my FYP2, which is titled Hostel Management System to Improve Sales and Resolve Stakeholder Problems. So Chapter 1, Project Background. So to begin with, I will like to introduce the background and motivation of the project. The first motivation is to provide a solution for hostel management company to improve their business using information technology and resolve the stakeholder problem. The second is to by analyzing and understanding the nature of hostel business, we can increase the business competitiveness and to improve the quality of delivery of service for hostel management while reducing their burden. So this is the problem statement versus the objectives. So the first problem statement is to document and scheduling the room's availability is quite frustrating and easy to make mistakes. The objective to tackle the problem is to develop a web application which can manage documentation and reservation of the customers. The second problem statement is to dealing with customer dispute may be quite troublesome and time consuming. Our objective is to provide a feature for staff to manage customer requests and to document it. The third problem statement is too many transaction requests and payment transfer to keep track. And our objective is to provide a feature for staff to manage customer payments easily. So the fourth problem statement is to note there's no effective way to get feedback from customer, and our objective is to provide a feature for administrator to analyze the business. The final problem statement is, so there's many limitations on using those platforms, which is there's word limit, there's a limitation on how you can brand your business and photo limits and etc. Our objective is to provide a feature for staff to manage accommodation listing without limitation and provide convenience for customer to search for accommodation. So the project scope is these are the project scope that I plan to complete, but the one with the tick is the one that I managed to finish. So take a look. So chapter 2, literature review. Basically, there's in summary, there's 5 main aspects exist on the current market that is very important for hostel management. These are the aspects that is very important. So reservation management, room listing management, dashboard system review, report review and export, and also feedback module. So chapter 3, system design. So this is a use case diagram where there's different roles, and the first row is the website visitor, where normally they can search the availability of the rooms and also make inquiry towards the room. Tenant, they can do normal login logout session and edit their profile, edit password, and also when they forgot their password, they can send a reset password to their emails to reset the thing. So they can also check their bills and then make payment, view payment history, view receipt, and then contact customer for support. So the owners of the system, they can view the dashboard, and then they can also perform all the login logout session and edit password thingy. So for admin or for staff and super admin, they can manage also same, they can log in log out and then manage the same thing, and then additionally they can manage property, manage the units, manage the rentals, manage the bills, receipts, users, and contracts marketing. So the manage includes the CRED and other functions. So we cannot fit into this graph, so we shorten it up into this. So this is the ER diagram of the system. We got 4 main modules for the database design, where we consist of user module, property modules, invoice modules, and payment gateway. So these are the 4 main modules for the database design. Design specification, chapter 4. We are using SDLC as our main development methodology. So there's 6 stages or 6 phase users implemented, which is analysis phase, design, implementation, testing, development, and also maintenance. The first phase is analysis, where we get feedback from the tenants where they are staying in the management. So they are the people who are using the system and they are experiencing the management side. So they can provide a valuable feedback on how the function and the things that they need. So second phase is design phase, where we discussed about it earlier about the design diagram, use case diagram, and also the database diagram. So the third phase is the implementation phase, where I could implement the previous design and then code it into the whole system. So there's a lot happening here which we will discuss later. So phase 4 is the testing phase where alpha and beta testing is done. So alpha testing is done to identify the bugs and potential issues, where we internal people test our system and then try out many things to check the bugs and then fix all the bugs and potential issue. And we also check the functionality logic of the whole system, where and beta testing is different, where we get external user to use the system and feedback through the system, and then also from the feedback we try to improve the user experience and also the functionality. So beta testing is not done in the project because of various problems which I will discuss later also. So the fifth phase is deployment. So we deploy the web application on the real system and then we try to run it on the real server, and then yeah. So the sixth phase you cannot see here, but it's a maintenance phase where continuous effort is done to get user feedback and to improvise on the application. So these are the development tools that are used. So the first one is PHP Storm, which is the IDE for PHP. So it's like it's the integrated development environment for PHP, where it's easy to use for debugging and also for coding. So the framework I'm using is Laravel, which is very suitable for PHP environment. So the next tool I use is the MySQL Workbench, which database modeling and SQL administration is done. So the third tool I'm using is the Laragon, which is a universal development environment for PHP. So basically I'm using this Laragon to host the local server and the database server on my local device to code and debug and develop the whole system. So this is the timeline for the FYP2 and the progress bar. So chapter 5, project implementation. So this is around 1/4 of the whole routing design for the whole system. So this is the example. So I will start the project demonstration. So for the convenience of understanding how the system demo works, now we should go back and see the use case diagram. So let's start with the website visitor point of view. So as a website visitor, this is the default homepage of the website. So just now this whole thing is for display purpose, so I didn't purposely make it to become very beautiful, but more on functionality. So basically we can go and search, as a website visitor I can go and search the room, and then in this place all the empty rooms will show up. So in case if I want to check a more precise result, so I can go and search for a far future check-in date and then check for availability. So probably more rooms will be available. Yeah, you see one more room is pop up right now. So so website visitor, besides they can search, they can also filter by the criteria that they want, which is the text. So only the rooms that fulfill their requirement will be show up here. So if the visitor is really interested in the room, they can click inside here and then see the details of the room and then decide whether they want to rent it or not. So if they are really interested, they can just click into the room and then they can insert their details from here. So I will random key in the value here and then click book now. So as you can see, after I click the book now button, the website will came out like you are successful, submitted, and then please wait for our staff reply through the WhatsApp. So our staff, you see just now there's nothing here, but our staff will receive a push notification from this app, and then it will came out notice the staff that, oh, these people, this is information, please contact this guy from this thing, from this contact number from WhatsApp, and then this is the code number of the room that he's interested. So that's all for the website visitor part. So next is the tenant part. So I will first log in into 3 different accounts. So this is my original email, so this is the admin account, and then this is for the tenant account, and then this is for the owner account. So as you can see, different role in this system, if you have different role, then the thing that you can access and the thing that you see will be different. So this is the tenant, so we will start with the tenant first. So basically when tenant log in, they can only this are the dashboard that they can see, and then tenant, they can check the outstanding bill, and then they also can check their payment history, and then go to see the receipts that they had paid previously, and then also contact the support here. So basically the support here is almost similar as the inquiry just now that I demonstrate for the website visitor. So any things that submitted through here will be submitted, and then our staff will receive the message, and then yeah, so this is the tenant name that will display out here. So the thing that they need to help, and then later we will contact and get back to them later. So besides from the pushover notification of the web form here, we also provide the convenience for the tenant to contact us through the WhatsApp link or through the Facebook Messenger thing. So for the payment history though, so basically if you are, so the tenant, they can check their bills and then make the payment here. So let me make a demo here. So if I want to add bill for this tenant, and just another test rental, select type rental, and then the tenant, so 50 ringgit. So I just created a new bill for this tenant, and then if I go back to the tenant here and refresh, so it will come out here. And then if I selected the bill type, the image will also be different based on the bill type that I provided. So for the payment, I use the bill please payment gateway for dealing with the payment thingy. So this is the bill please sandbox server. So you see just now, when I press the make payment button, a new collection with the new payment will come out. Yeah, if I press play pay, I can choose to success or failure. This is for debug purpose lah. So if the payment is failed, then the outstanding is still 51, which is the figure just now. So if it's successful, then it will redirect back and then check the bill with the bill please sandbox server, and then yeah, the outstanding is now clear, becomes 0. So I can also check back my payment history from here, and this is the one that I paid just now is right here. So 51 ringgit is the amount that I just paid. So I can check the receipt here. Oh yeah, and also I can download the receipt or even print the invoice. Basically this is all for the tenant part. So tenants can also check their Wi-Fi password through here, the Unicode. If the rental, if the tenant rent more than one unit, then it will also display here. So yeah. Beside that, if the tenant can also choose to change their profile information here, and then also change their password here, but they need to key in their old password here also. So in case if the tenant he forget his password, he can use this forgot password, which I will demonstrate later on my own email account, because this is just a fake email. So let's come back here, and then yeah, this is basically everything that the tenant can do. So let's proceed with the owner part. So this is the owner account here. As you can see, we can see the overall occupancy rate of the owner. So we have if the owner have multiple properties, we can see each of the property how is the performance. There's 4 room in total. There's still 3 room that's still empty. So the occupancy rate is like 25%. So in total, this owner he have 411. He gets six units, 6 total units, and then 5 of them is empty and only 1 room is rented. So we can see the potential earning and for this property, and then the actual earning for the rental. So yeah, so we display it out. This is for to resolve the stakeholder problem, where this is the transparency issue, where the owner can also see the progress and all the details of the rented units. So that's all for the owner part. So let's come back to the use case diagram. So the one that's left is the staff or the super admin module. So basically the staff or super admin also can do all the login logout session and then change password thingy. So right now I will test out how I can change the password. So basically if I forgot the password, I can key in my email here, and then later I will receive a recovery email. So you see if you write the password reset link is sent to my email, so I can go back to my email inbox and then change the email from here. Yeah, so just now I got make the payment from Bilkis, right? So basically every payment from Bilkis, I will receive the receipts from the Bilkis. So right now I hardcode it to my original email address. Yeah, so if I check my email here, so I will receive a password reset link. So I will just press the password reset link, and then I will come back to here. So basically I can reset my password here for my account. So I will just use back my old password lah. So let's log in. So as you can see, staff can do many stuff. So I will start with here the manage property, manage unit, manage rental, view, and then receipt, user, contract management. So let's start with property. So basically property, I can have a property index and also can search the property based on the info that I key in. So yeah, there are many types of different criteria that I can use to search for the property here. So for convenience purpose, I use the index first. So I can view the index, view the property, and then I can also change the property information. So I can also change the owner, change the property name, and then just change, and then it will change the property name. So yeah, and besides, I also can upload new photos to the property here, and then I just click and save changes. Then it will the new photo will be added. So if I don't want this photo, I just click it, and then it will be deleted from the storage. So this is property. So besides the units is also the similar, just the criteria for searching the unit is different. So I can search from different criteria, and then yeah. So basically unit, they have 3 kind of status. Just now the owner part, the unit display is less than 1 because I got 1 unit is unlisted. So what is unlisted? Unlisted means that I unlist the unit from the website. So the normal website visitor, they cannot search the unit if I unlist it. So this is just a simple toggle button to toggle the status for this unit. So I can just press it, and then it will change the status to unlisted, and then press it again, so it will change back to empty. So only empty units can be changed into unlisted. So I just don't want to display this unit at the for the website visitor to search for it. So basically like this. So it's also similar. So the unit, I can search for the I can view the information, and also different of this kind of is different. I can see the calendar view. So basically I can see this is the today date. So the other part which is got the light blue color, it is the tenancy period for the renter. So basically this is all the rental tenancy period. So besides I also can edit this information, and then I can also add the text, and also I can delete the unit. So deleted unit is only soft deleted. So basically if I've deleted this, so the tenant also cannot find the unit at the website, and I also cannot search the unit. So basically like this. So next is renter. So renter is basically the tenancy period, or the check-in, the active tenant they are staying in the room. Then I will create a renter for them to handle the thing. So I will try to check in one tenant. So this is the check-in page. So I can select the tenant, and then or I can directly create a new tenant from here, and I just key in the new tenant information here. So I will use the thing. So I need to select the check-in date. So by default I will select today's date lah. So I will check in the tenant into this room P1U2. So everything I left the default information, so I can review the detail and then submit. So after I submit it, I will check in the tenant. So if you go back and see the renter, so I will have another renter. See P1U2, the one that I checked in the tenant just now. If I go back to see the unit here, I think one of the P1U2 will become occupied. Yeah, see. So for internal, so basically this is where I handle the tenant, the renter of the tenant. So I can create, I can change the checkout date. Maybe the tenant want to check out early, or even extend the tenancy period. I can check in here. I can also change so this one is the change billing user. So basically not everyone want to pay the bill for themselves. Probably they are like 3 brothers. They are staying at the management here. So maybe the older brother will pay all the bills. So in this case, I can change the billing user to the older brother here, and then later when I generate bill, the bill will be generated for the older brother, and the renter is still the same lah. So besides, I also can check out the tenant here. Yeah, I just click check out, then the tenant will be checked out from the system. So I can click select the checkout date. So if I pick the 15 of cannot. So I will check the constraint line. The checkout date cannot be smaller than the check-in date. So I need to select something bigger, and then this does not conflict with the tenant, with the unit tenancy period. So besides, I also can shift room. So in case you want to you're staying at this unit, so at this room. So if you are not very satisfied, or in case something happen, I can shift you to this unit, and then I can just directly change the deposit and the rental status here. So after I switch the room though, so you will be switched to another unit. And then also I can edit the rental information here, and also add the contract. So this is for contract, the document track back. So after tenant sign the contract, I can upload the contract here in image format. So basically we already covered the property, rental, and unit part. So let's proceed with the bill and the receipt part. So bill is like this. There's many bill type here. So these are the bills type available. So I can also add new bill type here, and then it will display at the bills here. So when I'm adding bill, I can type the bill information, and also can bulk add the bill. So as an example, if I have I have more than one rental For example, if I have more than one rental records that I need to. So after I create the bill, so it will directly create multiple bills from here, so I can unlimitedly add the as many bill as I want. So yeah, a new bill is created here. So the new bill is created here. So for receipt, so the receipt add is for manual payment. In case your tenant does not use your tenant portal to pay your money through the bill please FPX service that we provided in the portal, and the tenant just like go to log into their old online banking platform and then just like online transfer. So you can just directly search for the tenant name, and then you can select the payment method that they give, that the cash payment or online transfer for you, and then you just create a receipt for him. So this is the manual way to create the receipt. So if the tenant pay the receipt through the FPX that I demonstrated just now, so you can just ignore this because the receipt is auto generated and then the bill will not be generated. So for the bill, I can also search for the bill here. So I can search for the pending bill status. This is the bill that I created just now, or I can just search for all bills which is already paid. So for receipt, I also can search for all the receipts available. So as example, this is the bill please payment gateway, and I can search it. So the latest one is the just now that this is the 51 ringgit, the one that I generated just now. So I can also see the receipts from here. So come back here. So for the receipts, I also can check the bill please collection list. This is to ping the bill please server and then add the collection from here, and then I also can sync the collection from the bill please server. So this is the syncing from the bill please sandbox server. So for the final part, for the admin, the owner. So for the marketing part, so I can send email to different user group. So for marketing, maybe I want to call back, and then I want to push some marketing or notification for the tenant, for the active tenant, like there may be the electric disturbance from what date until what date, and then give them some clarification, and then just write the message here. So basically like this. So if I click submit, then it will not actually send up, because this is for demo purposes, so it will not actually send up because the email in the database is not the real email. So if I want to test the email, so before sending to the customer or to the tenant or to the owner first, I can actually send it to my own test to see how the email actually display for the customer or the tenant. So come back to the dashboard here. So I can toggle display the calendar. So the calendar is only used to display the events that are happening. So at this date, the tenant will check in for this unit, so it will become a reminder for you to see what will happen in what event will happen in this, and then also got the checkout for this P1U1 unit. So I can toggle it to close it up because sometimes it will be very disturbing. So the main, so for the dashboard, it will display all the main operation things that's needed to create the by default, the data display here will be the current month data. So if I don't want, I can search for the data from the last month and then pop, and then it will display all the bill collection progress from the last month. And then this is the collected rental analysis. I can see the amount of rental collected and the count of the rental collected here. Also can see throughout the system all the occupancy rate, and then see the total property here. And then if I want to search for the property, and then I can just directly click here, and then it will jump to all the properties that I want to search. total unpaid paid bills, and then how many bills that still how many bills that is already paid, and then how many bills that is still pending payment. So 499 is the bills that haven't paid lah. So this is this month data. So basically that's all for the demonstration. These are the external API that I'm used throughout the project. So Mailgun, which is the mail service API. So basically I'm not using the SMTP from the original server because the SMTP from the domain itself has very low scoring and credibility rate. So the pass-through rate and the delivery rate of the SMTP server is very low, and mostly the mail sent through the domain SMTP server will go to the junk. Basically, I'm using the Mailgun API for higher credibility and delivery rates. So pushover is also used for the thing you saw at the mobile apps where I can get push notification from the server when anything happens, or when the customer or the tenant is looking for support. The notification is sent through the pushover. So in case the pushover is down and does not reply to the ping from our server, I will send the notification to the Mailgun instead. Besides, I also use the BillPlease API. So BillPlease is a payment gateway in Malaysia that provides FPX service and also credit card and other services. So the one that I'm implemented in the system is only using the FPX service, because the sandbox server for BillPlease only provide the FPX service. I also use reCAPTCHA for security measures, and other APIs like Google Tag Manager, and then Google Analytics for the business and website traffic analytics, and also Microsoft Clarity for user behavior analysis. So for security measurements, I'm using Cloudflare to prevent DDoS and bot intrusion, bot attack, intrusion detection, DNS, and also DNS and other protection. So CSRF token or CSRF protection is implemented to prevent the cross-site request forgery throughout the system. Google reCAPTCHA also implemented at the forgot password page to prevent bot spamming and DDoS. Rate limiting is implemented at the login form to prevent the people to brute force the password. SSL is implemented to protect the privacy of the users when the client is communicating with the server. So the connection is secured and encrypted when the client side is talking to the server side. So this is the poster for the FYP, and then chapter 6 conclusion. So in conclusion, the summary of the conclusion is the system is successful in achieve the 5 objectives, which is the manage reservation document keeping, manage customer requests, resolve payment workflow, manage accommodation listing, and also business analytics. So the limitation of the system is the database design, where when I need to add additional function to the data to the system, there's some constraint happening. So the database design is not very suitable to add those functions, and I need to redesign the whole thing. So there's also unforeseen problem that surface out when I throughout the system. So oftentimes I cannot meet the deadlines. There's also a problem faced when I'm searching for the vendors to test the system. So basically, it's very hard to find real vendors to implement the system on top of their currently running system. So they didn't trust you, or they didn't understand the system very much, and yeah. So they are unwilling to use the system that I developed. The recommendation to solve the previous problem is to think throughout before implementing the database design, and additional function that needs to implement in the future before I actually implementing the thing. So besides, I also need to not get overconfident and make realistic prediction towards the timeline and the deadlines. So besides, I also need to make a more proper documentation and presentation with the technical, and provide the technical support for the vendors in order to gain their confidence in using our system. So that's all for my FYP presentation. Thank you.